Okay, so this is how we start off modeling our making a cereal box. So I'll get a box. I mean a what do you call it? Cube. Let's scale it up to be the correct dimensions. Actually, let me look. So 8, 12, 1, 3, 4. Okay, so we have this right here. It's saying that its height is 12. Oh no, wrong one. Height is 12. That's not right. And then do 4. You know what? Let's just eyeball it. I was trying to be real technical and do it the right way. Let's just eyeball it. All right, so cereal box probably be like this, right? Perfect. All right, so it looks just like cereal box. So now we have to split it, right? So we'll go over here to UV editing. And this is this default shape. When it comes into Maya, any shape that comes into Maya, it comes with default UVs. And UV is standing, I mean, it means I forget which one. I think this one's U and this one's V, right? So we have X, Y, and Z, 3D space, and we have UV. This is like 2D space. So it's like Photoshop or anything else, you know, everything's 2D. So these are the default UVs. And if I go to face, right, and I select this face, it shows it right here. So this face is the default layout is right here. So let me show you something else. This right here is a sphere, and these are the UVs for the sphere. So same thing. If I was to go like this and select these faces here, it selects those there. And I'll do the same thing if I select this row faces or a certain amount of faces, it's right here. It's just laid out like this, right? So I click on this, and I don't know, you all might need to like, I guess depending on your computer, move this back and forth to see certain things. If I click on this, this comes up right here. And this is our like, we'll just make this like our image, right? And it's, you can see what it says, UV1. Oh, and what it means by that is if that says UV1, 1001, I move it over here, UV2, 1002. I mean UV, yeah, UV2, V1. So it kind of like, and it goes V3, so it's like the position basically of where it's at here. But anytime we make something, it'll always be in this one right here, right? It has to be in this UV tile. If it's somewhere else, it's not going to really work. Now let's look at this. If I go to right here, right, we see that there it says 00, right? So that probably means it's right here. And also something else. This is a little bit bright. It's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to dim this image. And to do that, I go to image and I go to dim and click on this check mark and it dims it, right? So dim, undim, just to make it easier on their eyes. All right, so if I go right here to this face, you see what it is? It's right here. Now the thing is, it's not really scaled out correctly. It's skewed, right? So what you want is you want these to look just like this. So this face right here, you would want it to, you want these squares to be square, all right? Let me show you what I mean. we need to split these faces up. So if I go right here and I click on this, well, all right, there's just another way we can do this. We'll just do something called automatic UV. We'll select this and we'll go to, we'll go up here to this UV tab. We can break this off too. And we can go to something called automatic. Now, if I click on this, what this is doing is it's showing these planes right here. And what these planes are doing is it's looking at this object and it's saying, give me all the faces in this direction. With this way, it's saying, oh, give me all the faces in this direction. So it's snatching this face and then it's putting it on here. And it's just putting on here how it wants to put it on, but it's splitting up the faces for us, right? So it's saying, oh yeah, this top piece, let me get that, bang, and I'm gonna put it over here. But I'm just gonna put it over here however I want to put it over. It's not really, you know, putting it over here perfectly. It's just basically, it's almost like taking it and then crumpling it up and putting it over here. And then we have to like smooth it out. So automatic UVing is taking all the faces from all the different directions, top, bottom, left, right, front, back. So now what we have to do is we have to scale these to make them look like regular squares. And what I mean by that is this. Let's take this front face, for example. I'll select it. And when I select it, it's the same face right here. So we already know that we have move, scale, rotate, and what is it? WER, right? So we move, scale, and rotate. So we have that over here too. So if I take this and I press R for scale, these the scale comes up, right? So if I move this, see how it's scaling? Now check this out, right? It's square. I mean, you see these aren't squares. Right here, it's laid out as squares. So this is always going to be perfect. We just need to make it look perfect here. So if I scale this in, they're starting to look like squares now, right? That's a very good thing, right? Because now whatever image we put on here should look right. So for example, I'm going to take this and I'm going to move these, right? There's two ways to move them. You can select the face since these are single faces, or you can right click and click on UV. And when you double click on an edge, or a point, it grabs the whole face. And we can take this and we can just move it over here. Right. So what I did was I have it in UV mode, right? I just double click, I get this whole UV tile. And if I go right here and I put it over this, you see how this is like a regular U over here and the one and the V, but over here it's skewed, right? So what we have to do is press R, for scale, and then we scale it. To make them squares. Let's do it again. I'm going to Control Z. And the reason why I'm going to Control Z is because we have this right here. It laid out everything like perfectly. So instead of just doing that one face by itself, I'm going to do both these faces. So I'm going to select this, hold down Shift. So we have both of these. As you can see, the letters right there. And so we're going to scale them at the same time. Press R for scale. And now I'm setting up my camera here, my perspective, to look at this like in the best way possible. You see the plane? It's like I'm looking directly at it. So I can see these. So I go like this. Okay, perfect. All right. I think it's perfect. So I'm going to do is press W and I'm going to put it up here. Right. And I'm going to send them to heaven. Right. Because they're good. They're good right now. So let's make some other ones good. Right. So we have this side. Right. And hold down Shift. We have this side. So we have these two. You don't have to put them together necessarily, but sometimes I do. Right. So you can see what the U and the one look like skewed right here. And then on this other side, we can see the one, another one. It's actually upside down, but it's not a big deal. Right? We just need to scale them both at the same time. But if we wanted to make this right side up, this is how you do it. You click on it. So you can do it on face. Let's just do UV just to be safe. Double click on it. And let's rotate this 90 degrees. So I'm pressing E and I can press J and I can rotate it like that, but I'm not getting the even 90 degrees. So to get the 90 degrees in increments, I'm gonna hold down the letter J, then rotate. And you see how it's snapping? It's doing the 90 degrees. So now we're at 90 degrees. So this is the right side up, that's the right side up. Let's scale them both. So I'm gonna hold down Shift. So remember UV, double tapping on that one, double tapping on this one. I'll press R to scale. Now let's scale. Okay, it's starting to look like squares. Now let's move them just over this UV. You see the 1 and the 0 on this side. So that's looking good. Go to this side now. See the 1 and the 0. That looks good. So what we'll do is we'll take this and we'll bring it up to heaven with this other friends. Now check this out, right? So you see the height of this, and this is the side. So it should be the same height. So how do we make it the same height? We can press R and scale and kind of use it as a measurement and scale this up so it's the same height as those. Also, if we needed to, we can right click and go to UV and take these UV points and kind of like scale them. I got an extra one. We can like move these like this too. But basically all we wanted to do is cut these out because this is the side of the box and it's the front. All right. So now we have the top and the bottom, same thing. Click on this, Shift, click on this. So we have 2 of these. We can even bring it on here if we really want to, just to see. So there's that one. The bottom, we're not going to worry too much about the orientation. We'll just scale them both at the same time. All right. So I'm pressing R to scale. Scaling. And okay. This looks about right. Okay, cool. Are those looking like squares? Yeah. All right, cool. So if I go like this, you see that V is looking normal, that 1's looking normal. Same thing over here. 0's looking normal, the V's looking normal. It's not like stretched or squished or something like that. It's normal. Now, if we go over here, let's rotate both of these at the same time too. So let's go to E and let's rotate in increments, right? Let's hold down J. So we have 90-degree increments. And because this is the top and the bottom, we should be able to measure the size like this. So what we've done is we split up this box into 2D form. So let's bring it back into this this tile. So I'm just right clicking UV, selecting it all, dragging it down. Okay, cool, looks good. Now what I need to do is because whatever image we put here, it's going to be lower resolution. As you can see, this pixelation right here, because these tiles are very small. So we would right click and scale them up to as large as we can in this UV space. And you know you've gone past your limit once that happens, right? So that means that we've gone inside of another tile, which is what we don't want. So okay. So we have this right here, this one, And we have our bottom face and top face. So these are in here and we've arranged them ourselves. We can also do something where we right click, go to UV, and oh yeah, this menu right here, UV toolkit. You might have attribute editor, tool settings, UV toolkit. So we go to arrange and layout. We click on layout. It'll attempt to lay it out for us in its own way. The only thing is this isn't quite correct because if you look at it, these tiles right here are bigger than these tiles, right? And that's not something you want. You all want it to be, you want all the UV tiles. So all these squares, these checkers to be the same textile density, which means like the same size, basically. You don't want like mix match size. So let's do Control C. And so when we did it ourselves, it's much closer to being correct. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, you know, but yeah. So now we've laid this out. It's laid out in the 2D grid. And if we can take off this checkerboard too, if we want. We can also, I think, if we click on this picture right here, it removes it from this. But we still have the UV tiles and the numbers right here. So depending on what you're doing, I like to have it on if I'm scaling these up. All right. So this is how you split a 3D object down into to the UV grid. So 3D UV. Now the next step is to take this into Photoshop and place our serial box image or whatever image we want on top of this. And then we're going to bring it back into Maya and you're going to see it with the texture on there. That'll be in part 2.